In this SketchUp tutorial, we're going to lay out a room based on real-world measurements. So we're going to make this installation space, and we'll put in the doors, and we'll get those from the 3D warehouse in SketchUp. And then we'll also put in some light switches and a few other details like this ductwork, so we can get a good sense of the room to plan our art installation. If you do not see your large tool set, go to View, Tool Palettes, Large Tool Set. This gives you access to all the tools in SketchUp and a handy menu that you can move around. So the rectangle tool is over here in the large tool set, or you can press R. So I'm going to draw on the ground plane. I'm going to click, then move my mouse, and I'm going to type in these dimensions. I know that this particular room is 216.5 inches by 197.5. So I can type 216.5, then comma, and then I can type 197.5. And then I can press enter. Now, if I hold the middle mouse button to orbit, I can see the room. This is the longer dimension, and then this is the shorter dimension. I can press F for offset, and I'm going to offset this by 7 5/8 inches because it's a cinder block wall. So I'll type 7 space 5/8. Now that I have my offset cinder block wall, I'm going to press P to push pull. This ceiling is 146 inches. So after I click, I can move up and then type 146, enter. So now I have walls and a floor. What I want to do though is separate the floors and the walls into two different groups. To do that, I'll double click the bottom floor and press Command or Control G. And then I'll triple click all of these. Make sure you triple click, because if you just double click in SketchUp, it will select this one plane. But if I triple click, now I select the whole body. And now I can press Command or Control G to make a group. Now we need to add some doors. To do that, we're going to go to the 3D warehouse. To get to the 3D warehouse, you go to Window and then 3D warehouse. The 3D warehouse has all kinds of products and models. If you are not signed in, you'll have to just go ahead and sign in. You can create a free Trimble account and then get everything you need for the 3D warehouse. I'm looking for a particular model, so I'm going to type SEM install. And right here, I have SEM installation room. So I'm going to click this button right here to download it. And it's going to say load this directly into your model. And I want to say OK. So now I have this door, and I don't want to place it anywhere. I want to place it on the floor. So you'll see if I hover here, it says on face and group. That means it's right on the floor. So now I can go ahead and manipulate this door so I can have it be in the right spot. So this first door goes over here next to this wall. So what I can do, press the move tool by pressing M. This gives me the move tool, this arrow tool. And if I click on the corner of this door, I can move straight to the right. And notice it says red axis. And if I hold shift, it'll lock to the red axis. Then I can hover here until it says intersect with this plane. I know that this door is 10 inches from the wall. So now I can click the door again, move straight on the red axis and type in 10. Then I can go ahead and grab this section of the inside door frame right here. So you can see this is the outside of the door frame. I can grab this corner with the move tool. And now I can move on the green axis. Once I have that locked, I'll hold shift and then I can just hover right on this plane. So it'll move that to that plane. And if I zoom in now, you'll see that this is sticking out just a little bit. That's exactly what we want. But now, if I look on the other side, you'll notice that this whole wall is not cut through. So in order to do that, I need to go inside this group. So I'll double click the wall group. And then I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to press R for a rectangle. And it's important that I get right on this intersection. So it says this endpoint right here. I'll click. And then I'm going to hold shift to make sure I'm on the face. You see when I hold shift, it locks to the face. But first I'm going to zoom in, then hold shift so I know I'm drawing this rectangle on this face. And then I'm going to click right here. Then I can press P to push pull, and I can grab this one. and then I can inference in SketchUp right to this edge, and that'll cut through the door. So now I've cut through on the door, and I have it on this side as well. So now I have a door in my room. We're going to lay out some other parts of the room. Over here, I know that I have a column that's supporting the building. So I'm going to get the line tool, and I'm going to draw this column. I'm going to start right here in the corner. I'm going to click once, and then drag this way, and I'm going to type 14.25. 14.25. Then I'm going to come out 2.75. 2.75. And now I don't want to draw another line from this point, so I'm going to press L to cancel the line tool. I'm going to go back to the corner, and I'm going to draw this way, 11.5. Then I'm going to come out perpendicular and just move the mouse until it locks on that red axis. Then I'll type 5. Then I'm going to move my mouse over to here and connect that shape. Now I can press P, and I can move this all the way up to the top. I want to triple click this and make it a group. Next, I need to put some more wall cladding on part of this wall. So I'm going to get my tape measure. I can get this from the large tool set in SketchUp, or I can just press T for a keyboard shortcut. Click on the bottom edge, go straight up on the blue axes, type 110.5. And now I have this line that I can use as a guide. So I want to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to click down here on the endpoint in this group, and I'm on the face. So now I'm going to come all the way up to here and zoom in, and I'll hold Shift to lock to the face, and then I'm going to click right on this edge. Then I can press P, and I can come out 0.5. I can type 0.5. And then finally, I just need to bring this up to that point. Sometimes SketchUp, it's a little hard to hit these, but eventually just orbit around, and eventually you'll lock right to that point. So now I have this extra cladding that's on the wall there. But you'll notice once I've done that, I've now created a problem. I now have this plane in front of my door. So to fix that, I need to get the rectangle tool, and I'll click from this point, then hold Shift to stay on that face, click here, and if I click this form right here, this plane, press P, and then I can press pull right to the edge, and then it'll disappear. And then I can triple click this and group it. So now I have that as a group as well. This column is not exactly this shape. It has a support structure at the top. So to do that, I'm going to use my tape measure, and I'm going to go from the top edge of this material, and I'm going to go up 10 inches by typing 10. Make sure you're on the blue axes. Now I have my guide mark right here. I'm going to press P to get push-pull, and I have to go inside this group. So press P, and then I can go right down to here. Now I can press F to offset, click once, and then I'm going to drag out approximately, I'll look at the top here, approximately this much. This doesn't have to be exact. We're just trying to get an approximation. Then I can press P, and I can come up all the way to the top. I need to put in another guideline. So from the top here, I'm going to come down 4 inches by typing 4. And then I want to press the space bar, and I want to select this line, hold Shift, select this line, and this line. So I have these 3 lines selected. And if I press M for the move tool, I can then click these edges, and I can move them up right to that guideline. And I want to go straight up on the blue axis. So make sure you lock to the blue axis, then hold Shift, then go straight to this line. And now I have that form going up in a taper. What we can do now is go ahead and trim this up a bit by getting our line tool, and then I can draw from here to the corner, and then from the corner to here. And notice how we can't see all this group. It'd be great if we could hide the model, and we can do that in SketchUp. So one of my favorite keyboard shortcuts is the X key, but by default, it is not set. So what you need to do is go to Edit Preferences or SketchUp Preferences, depending on your operating system. And then here you can see all these different options. And we want to go to Shortcuts. And we want to type in Hide. And View Component, Edit, Hide Rest of the Model. Just type X for this. So you see how I have an X here? So now, when I'm inside this group, I can press X, and it hides the rest of the model. Then if I type X again, the model comes back. So now we can use that keyboard shortcut. So see how I press X, and now the model is hidden. So I can draw straight down on this edge, and then I can draw from this line to there. Now I'm going to orbit around. And I'm going to draw straight down from here. And then I'm going to draw straight from here to here. Then I'll press E on my keyboard for the eraser tool. You can also get it from the large tool set over here. And I'll erase all these extra lines so they're not in the way of my model. And in SketchUp, it's a good idea to keep the poly count as low as possible. This is true in most 3D modeling programs, so we can clean up these extra lines that we don't need. So just click the eraser tool and clean up these lines. If you accidentally erase a line, for example, if I erase this line right here and my whole model breaks, that's okay. Just press L and draw a line from here all the way down to here. You can also press Control Z or Command Z. I'm going to press spacebar to jump out of that group. So now I have all the things that I need over on this wall. And since I have this piece right here, I can tell where the other door is. So we can copy this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the Move tool. And if I click Move, it's going to move the door. But if I press Alt or Option, just tap it once. Now I can make a copy of this door. And when you do this, you want to go ahead and make sure you move it on in axes so it doesn't change height. So then just click. And then I can rotate it by clicking on one of these. And then if you look at the bottom of your screen, it's going to say -90. That means I went 90 degrees. And then next, I'm going to go ahead and move it into position. So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to move it all the way over, hold on the red axis, and let go when it's on that face. Now I can move it over by clicking on this corner, holding Shift for the green axis, and moving to this point right here. I know it's 9 inches away, so now I can just move 9 inches. Of course, I could have used the tape measure and taped over 9 inches, but there are many ways to do things. Now we need to cut through this wall. So I need to go inside the wall group by double clicking. But oh no, my model is gone. Why can't I see my model? So we need to press X to bring our model back. So now I'm inside this group. I click this face and then I tap R for the rectangle tool. I'm going to click right here. And then I'm going to orbit so I can get down to the bottom here. And I want to hover on the face, then hold Shift to make sure I'm making this rectangle on the face. And then I can press P and I can put this rectangle all the way through to the other side. Sometimes you need to scroll out to see where you're going. So I don't want to come this way. I want to go right to the end of the wall, and that should cut through. Close that group. So now I have a door on this side and this side. But in this particular room, this door is slightly different than this door. If we go to Window Outliner, these are just groups, and we can label these. For example, if I click here, I can call this Walls. And then if I click on the floor, this group here is the floor. And then I can keep adding different things. For example, this here, this is the pillar. And then this right here is wallboard. And this is the floor. It's a good idea to label things, but you don't have to label them. You can leave everything as group. But notice how this one has a window-looking icon. That means it's a component, and if I change one of them, the other one will also change, or 1,000 of them will change. But in this case, I want them to be unique. So I'm going to click on this one, this second one, and I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to say Explode. So now it's just a door, But then before I deselect anything, I'm going to press Command or Control G to group it. So now I can label this group door 2. It's not a component, so it is taking up more memory, but we need to change it. So this is okay. So now I'm going to go to door 2. I can close my outliner, and then I'm going to double click door 2. And one of the main differences is it's a little bit shorter. So we're going to double click here. I'm going to click this top face. After I double click to go into the group one more time, I'm going to press P, and I'm going to come down 2 inches. And then I'm going to press space bar. And to get out of a group, you just click outside the group. So now I push this one down 2 inches. I need to do the same thing on this side. So I'll double click, then double click again, and then double click one more time. Then I'll press P, and I'll move this down 2 inches. So that means I need to move the wall down 2 inches. So I can double click here, then press P, and I can either type 2 inches or go straight to that edge. Excellent. The other thing that's different is this door doesn't have a piano hinge. So what we can do is get out of that group, click this group, double click, and I want to delete these little rectangles. So I'll double click here, click this rectangle, delete. Then I'll come to this door. And if you click in too far, notice that I'm actually inside the group because I can click individual faces. So that means I need to click out, then click. If the whole thing highlights, that means you have that group there, and I can press delete. Then the last thing we need to do, and we can press X to make this easier to do, is make this all white, because on this door, this is all white. So if I press B, it brings up the paint bucket. And what I can do is go ahead and press the paint bucket, click the crayons here, get the white color, and I can just click on these different objects. So if I double click in here, and then I can color these faces all white. So I can get all these faces in here. A faster way to do this is triple click, press B, and then they'll all go white. And then I can do the same thing for the door frame. I can press B, triple click, and now it's all white. Same thing here, triple click, press B, it's all white. And then this one here, now it's all white. And then the last one is this door here. So we can go inside, then triple click, press B, click, it's now all white. And this doesn't matter because we won't see this, but we can go ahead and make it all white as well by pressing B, and now it's all white. So there we go. Now we have that door all solved. I'm going to close the colors here. And if these guides get in the way, you can go edit, delete guides. So now those guides are gone. So the next thing I need to do is put in, there's some ductwork up here at the top. So I want to put that in. And I know the center of the ductwork is 43 inches from this column. So I'm going to press T for the tape measure. I'm going to click right here and make sure I go over on the red axis. And I'm going to type 43. And then I know it's up a little bit. So I'm going to go up 9.5. So now I have this point. And we're going to use a new tool. We're going to use the circle tool. It's over here in the large tool set. Or we can press C for circle. And this is a radius measurement. So I want to be on the face. And this radius measurement, I'm going to type 9. So this is now an 18-inch diameter circle. And now I need some measurements from this wall over here. So I'm going to get my tape measure again. And I'm going to press T. And I'm going to measure straight out from the wall 10.75. 10.75. Then I'm going to measure from this line 26 inches. Make sure it has the green axes there. And I'm going to type 26. Now I'm going to get the press pull tool, and I'm going to pull this ductwork all the way over to here. Now I'm going to use a modifier key with the press pull. Normally when I press pull, it just moves this. But if I press pull and then tap Alt or Option, look, I get a different piece and I have a segment there. So then I want to go to this next line. And then I'm going to make all of this a group. I'm going to triple click it so everything is selected. I'm going to press Command G. Then I'm going to double click to go inside the group. And if you still see your model, remember to press X. So we don't want to see our model. And then I'm going to click this face and I want to scale it. So the scale command is over here on the left on the large tool set, or you can press S. And if I grab this handle, notice it scales up to the right. That's okay, but we want to scale from the center. So if you hold the Option or Alt key, it'll scale from the center. And we want to scale it 1.5. You can see the numbers down in the lower right-hand side of the screen. Right there, 1.5, let go. And then we're going to press M for the Move tool. So we're going to click here, and we're going to click the top part and move straight down. And I'm going to hold Shift to lock to the blue axes. And then I'm going to move right to the top of the ductwork. And then while I still have this face selected, I'm going to move down 2.25 inches because it's just a little bit offset. So now we have this piece, and I want to press P, and then I can press X to show the room again, and I can click right to that edge. So now I have this ductwork going across the room at the right location. I can press B and go ahead and get colors in model, and I can get this steel color and click right on there. So now it has this steel color, and then I can press Edit, Delete Guides. At this point, we have a pretty good approximation of the room. So we could stop here, or you can add in additional details that you need. Some other details that might be nice to have are where the electrical outlets are or where the light switch is. So for example, there are some light switches up here. So let's go ahead and add in those light switches. The first thing we can do is go over from this point right here. So I can press T on my tape measure, and I can click right on this edge, and then I can go over 17 inches on the red axes. So I'll just type 17. And then I know that the top of the light switches are 50.5 inches up. So I can go straight up, 50.5. So now I can draw a rectangle on this board, and I want to make sure that I am on this plane, and I want to, if I press the left arrow, I'll be locked on the green axes. Then I can press 4, 4, and then press P and type 2. So now I have an electrical box. I could model the switch and do more things. That's up to you, but this is good enough to see where it is. And then I could also just go ahead and put in the conduit, the tape measure, and I'll tape over 2 inches. So that's in the middle. And then somewhere right around here, I'll press C, and I'll move this out 0.25 inches. And then I'll press F to just come out here, and I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch. And so first, I'm going to pull this up, and we'll go up 0.75 inches. And then we'll grab this one, and we're going to go all the way up to the ceiling. Now, in reality, an electrical box would have a little bend here, but this is good enough for us to see what we're doing with the room. And then I'm going to triple click this and make it a group. Press B, color it silver. And then I'm going to move it to duplicate it. So I'll press M. I'll grab this corner, then press Option. And then I'm going to click it right here. So now it's lined up. And now I know it's 5 inches away. So right on the red axis, I'll move and I'll type 5. Because there are 2 boxes there. I believe this one is white. So I'll press B, and then I'll click this color and make that one white. We can move over from the wall so we can see how far over it is. And I'll get the tape measure, press T, and then I want to draw over this direction 84 inches. That's to the center of the light switch. And then I can draw up the wall straight up in the blue axis. Make sure you see that blue axis arrow right there. And it's 20.25 to the top. We can press R to draw a rectangle. You can see I'm in the red plane, and I can draw this 2.75 and then press comma and then type 4.5. Then if I click on this rectangle, I can press P and I can pull the rectangle out 1/8 of an inch. Triple click, press Command or Control G to group. Then if I press M, I can rotate this to be vertical. And then now I can go ahead and grab the top of the plate and move straight up, hold Shift, lock it to that point. Then if I zoom in, there'll be a midpoint right here. Now I can move it left and right, and I can hold and then lock it to this point right there. So now I have that electrical plate right on here. And if you notice that this one moved into the wall, so I could just move it out right here and have that be on the face. And you could add more detail to that if you wanted to. You could add in the little circles and the holes. And now I want to go ahead and put one of these on the other side. So I'm going to press M. And then if I tap Alt or Option, I'll duplicate it. And then I'm going to orbit around. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. But once I orbit up to the top, I can hold on the red plane and move it over to the side. And so now I have another outlet floating in space. It's at the correct height, but it's not at the correct distance. So now I need to get my tape measure again, and I'll press T. This next outlet is 68 inches from this corner. So I can just move from that corner 68 inches. And then I'll press M. I can go ahead and grab the midpoint. I'll move over in the green axis, hold Shift, and then I can lock to right there. So now it's in the right space, but now I just need to put it on the wall. So to do that, I can again, with the move tool, move in the red axis, touch the wall, and there it is sitting right on the wall. So then I'm going to go ahead and edit, delete guides. So it gets rid of those guides. And then I'm going to put on the little bumper. So this bumper, we'll go ahead and get a circle, and I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to go ahead and make it 1.125. So it's 2¼ inches. And then I'm going to press P, and we're going to come out 3/8 of an inch. And this one here, we're going to go ahead and press spacebar, select this face, press S for scale, and then hold the Alt or Option key, and we'll just scale in a little bit. And we can type in 0.9. So that just scales it in just a little bit there. And then I can press F to offset. So I'll offset into the center there, about that much. And then I'll press P, and we'll come out 0.5 inches. Then we'll press spacebar, select this face, press S again, and hold Option or Alt, and just scale it in a little bit just to have a little bit of taper. Then we'll press F to offset and bring it in about this much, and then press P, select this face, and push it in to there. So now we have this bumper, and we can go ahead and give it some color. So I'll press B, and I'll grab my silver paint color, and I'll give this face and that face that silver paint color, and then I'll get some sort of dark gray here in the colors. So I'll make it this dark brown gray. And now I have a bumper that I can use for my door. So now what I want to do is go ahead and triple click this and make it a group so it's easier to move around. But where should it be? It should definitely be this height. So we can measure from right here. I clicked on the center of the doorknob. I'm going to go straight down, and it's 3 foot 4.5 inches. So then I can come over to the wall here, and I can press T for the tape measure, and I can go 3 foot 4.5 inches. So that's where the center of this should be. If I press M to move, I can grab the center and then find on the blue axis, hold Shift, and then I lock it right there. Now I just need the left and right. So to do that, we could actually just open the door. So to open a door, we'll double click on this group. And so this is the door. And if I press Q for rotate, it's also over here, Q, what I can do is, this is on the blue axis, and if I drag straight up the door here, and then I click one more time here, then I can move the door. So now you can see that I can rotate this door, and I can see where it would hit. So it's going to be about there. And then I can click this object here, press M, and move it in the red direction. And if I press Control or Command 1, I'll look straight down. And right now we're in perspective view, so it's a little distorted. So we don't get the actual area that we want to be. So this will get us close. Again, on the red axis, the door would bump right there. I'll go ahead and edit, and I will delete my guides. And now I have this great room. You can use the foot command and place a human right here, so I can position my camera somewhere in the room. And now I'm at eye height, and I can drag my eye around, and I can look in the room, and I can see what this would look like. So now it's like I'm looking in the room. I can look up and see all the things that I need. And then I can put objects in this room and plan out how it would work for my installation to see if things will fit or not. So hopefully you can model up this room following this guide. I'll upload this file as well for your reference.